Witnesses, Part 1. Mary is the name I go by. It's the name that God gave me. But that's not the only thing He gave me. He placed gifts within me, like the sermon, which, by the way, helped me notice how society operates, like the way communities decide what is acceptable and how we should behave to fit in, or how accustomed people are to adopt, adapt, and pass that behavior model on to future generations. Many people assume, or at least hope, that their future descendants will fit into society like a piece to a puzzle they designed. And if that person decides they don't want to fit into that puzzle that was laid out before them, that's when the games begin. What starts as finding your place in this world quickly turns into a game of cat and mouse. And guess who's being targeted as the mouse? The ones who never wanted to play this game from the start. It begins with being negatively labeled or exiled by those who choose to follow the ways that society taught them. And even worse, by the ones who settled to morph over time to fit into their environment. The sad thing is, no one wants to believe that their way of living isn't right. So for generations, they passed down those beliefs that society taught them like some distorted version of the game Telephone, assuming it'll all work out in the end. Come back for part 2. Okay, part 2. Many people forget the true meaning of life. They forget who's truly in control of their outcome. And if you try telling them to trust their life into the hands of the Creator, God, look at how most of them will look at you, as if you just told them a bad joke. Talking about our Creator, the source of all life, shows just how comfortable people are at accepting an illusion over truth, or how uncomfortable people are when the truth comes to light. They assume that if they do things their way, it'll all work out in the end. Sadly, believing that illusion doesn't work. It only ends up costing them in the end. Well, only if they don't change their mindset. Otherwise, they end up falling victim to the invisible trap set out before them due to their worldly perspective/desires over truth. The cool thing is, when you seek truth, you'll find it and break free from the rat race. You start to see things from a flipped perspective, from the world's view. You can learn that most of society lives just to impress or please other people. They work hard so they can have their heart's desires. But if you were to dissect that heart, what would you find inside of it though? For most people, it's empty or filled with sadness, jealousy, hurt, anger, disappointment, and uncontentment that they think money or distractions can fix. Unfortunately, people die with this mindset, wishing they could have done more with their lives instead of being satisfied that at least God thought they were special enough to have one. Alright, I'm gonna make part 3 because I don't want it too long. Part 3. I don't think that people realize that life is truly a gift from heaven, even if our circumstances may not feel like one. We cannot let that deter us from the truth. Our source of happiness isn't from our circumstances. It comes from being connected to the Creator. The hardest part of accepting the truth is understanding that in this reality, bad things are going to happen, and sometimes to good people. That doesn't mean that God doesn't exist or that He isn't with us. Seek Him and He will reveal Himself to you and through you. The true treatment for peace and contentment has been with us all along. It took me about 30 years to find this peace, and the best thing about it is it's free and available to everyone who seeks it. I'm gonna let you in on the cheat code to life. It's Jesus. Or Yahshua. Yahshua? Anyway, people think that believing in God alone is the answer, which is partially true. But because of sin, it has separated us from God. And the only way to directly reach Him is through His Son Jesus/Yahshua. So I had to learn the hard way that believing in God isn't enough. Believing in Jesus is the only way. Before giving my life over to Jesus, I used to think that being a good person, knowing God exists, and giving Him His credit or praising Him would cover my sins and redeem me. Yet, even with that mindset, the only way to taste a piece of peace was to give in to my worldly desires, which would grant me temporary joy, or what I thought was happiness. But boy, oh boy, did I find out that was not genuine peace or happiness. It was a settlement.